is not a replica, and it is not a rebuild. The actual house purchased in 1844 by Abraham and Mary Lincoln. When they first moved in, their house looked very different from the way it does today. At that point, it was only a single story. Very similar to the little brown house you see right back here with the green shutters on it. However, Lincoln's home would change and grow as the family grew. They added on several times. The easiest one to see is that second story you can see above me that was added in 1856, one of the final additions done to the home. All the additions and remodels give us a very good timeline of the Lincoln family life here in Springfield. Not just Abraham, not just Mary, but the entire family together. Any questions about the home or about the park around you? If not, we'll
One time.
No. This is the first time. Where Abraham Lincoln lived and studied.
I'm going to sneak past you all real fast. I'll stand right in the corner of the rail right there.
Is this cool?
Welcome to Abraham Lincoln's house. This room is the parlor. It is appropriate we start our tour here because if we were guests of the Lincolns, this is the room where you'll be invited right on into. Once we are in here, Abraham or Mary would ask us to have a seat in one of these chairs. And I do mean these. With the exception of the one directly behind me here, the rest of the chairs and the sofas in this room all belonged to the Lincoln family. Maybe you can imagine Abraham sitting in one of them when he was asked if he would like to run for president. His response wasn't yes. It also wasn't no. What Abraham said was, "I'll think about that." And he did. There are a lot of questions that come with being president. The biggest one is, of course, the politics. Abraham wants to know what he is getting himself into. But there's also the stress, both for him and the entire family. Just getting to D.C. isn't easy. It's about 800 miles from here, give or take. And in the 1860s, that is not a short, not a comfortable journey. It's just one of the many things Abraham and Mary will talk about. We'll talk it over for about 4 days. Abraham would finally say, yes, I would like to run for president. We'll learn more about that family coming off D.C. and the life they leave behind to go through the rest of their home. So do you walk all the way through this dining room here, through that, to the sitting room beyond it, where we meet you all next. Okay. What was here in their time, get an idea based off of these sketches right here. Those were done during the 1860 election to show off what the house looked like to voters.
To voters?
Yeah, so there was this myth going around that Abraham was this random country bumpkin from Illinois. If you're from Savannah or Boston or Richmond, you probably don't know where Illinois is, or at least not Springfield. So they don't know who is this person, why do I care about him? Well, no, he's someone who is a class of means. He knows what he's talking about. I'm showing that through his house. And it's very similar to a living room or a family room in a modern house. So, for example, we just walk to the dining room there. The Lincolns might have their dinner and then finish up and come back on in here to have some family time. For the boys, their favorite thing to do while they would play would often be wrestling. And I do mean full body and full contact. And that does include Abraham. He is very skilled at this, so much so that he is listed in the Wrestling Hall of Fame to this very day. Now Mary might be up here by her mirror and her sewing desk, trying to ignore all that distraction and roughhousing going on around her. Unfortunately, it's not just the people in the house, it's also the animals. The Lincolns had several pets, including a dog named Fido. He was a yellow lab mix. Very original name. At the same time, they also had several cats. Whenever Abraham saw a stray in Springfield, he often try and take that cat home with him and then give it a place to live. We do not know exactly how many cats he had. We do know it was enough to make Mary say that Abraham's truest hobby was indeed collecting cats. Any questions down here on the first floor?
How did the house survive with all the kids?
If not, we will head on upstairs. Off to the left, when we get up there, will be a green-themed guest bedroom, the only original bed left in the home. We can do a U-turn and go into the Lincoln's bedroom. That's the next stop in the tour. To get up there, please use caution on the stairs. Lawyers were expected to go see their clients in this time rather than clients coming to them. And Mary should have Kentucky.
Tiny, come here.
Bed wasn't on Cassie's order.
Now this is the Lincoln's bedroom. The first thing that we notice when they walk in here is the wallpaper. That is intentional. It was chosen by Mary Lincoln herself. It's the only place in the home we have the original pattern of the wallpaper. You're meant to be impressed when you walk in here because for the 1850s at least, it was very, very stylish. Now it's actually a French type design, which makes sense if you consider who Mary was. She was born Mary Todd. The Todds were a very wealthy family from Kentucky. She had quite a lot of education for the time, about 13 years worth, and part of that was learning French. So, probably why she chose this. Abraham, on the other hand, didn't have a lot of school, only about 1 year's worth. That's it. He never went to law school. He taught himself law, how to be a lawyer. You can see that in his desk here in the back corner. Abraham bought that. He was just starting out. He didn't have a lot of money. He wasn't showing off anything. He just needed some basic furniture and a simple little desk to work from. But it allows us to see how his life changed, going from essentially starting from scratch all the way to here with a very successful career, changing the lives of so many people we get to represent in court. We talked about Abraham and Mary. to talk about the rest of the family that supports their children, to go back to the rest of these rooms. We'll walk back through Mary's room, hop out in the back hallway, and that's where I'll talk to you all next.
Wait, time.
That is Mary's original private road, and I'm sure she loves that being shown off every single day.
Well, considering where he started from, right?
So congratulations, you all made it to a point in the home the Lincolns did not want you seeing. This is just getting the family between their rooms. Why bother paying to decorate something for one? When it was first built, it was Robert's room. He left for college, and so Tad and Willie moved from their mother's room into that one, taking it over for themselves. You'll notice quite a lot of toys in there, including a few original ones. Look in the tray, you will see some marbles. Those were found in the backyard, or some of them at least, were found during archaeological dig, and it can tell us a little bit how the Lincoln boys played. They were like any other children. They would lose their toys, so they lost their marbles and we found them. They're pretty wild children. In fact, during the 1860 election, they were out on the roof of the porch out there, outside their window, shouting at people, telling them to vote for Lincoln. That's just something that Tad and Willie would do. They would never really get punished for most things. They could get away with just about anything, including one time tracking in mud up the walls of the hallway. We knew they pulled that, and knew they got away with it because the hired staff complained about it in writing. She was not happy at cleaning it all up. The hired staff was typically, but not always, a teenage girl who, no matter what, would be paid, and if she wished or needed, could live here in the home with the family in her own bedroom here at the back of the hallway, that other open door. And in that bedroom, you can see original 1856 floorboards. Across the hall is that closed door there. They would call that a trunk room. It's like a big closet for everyone's extra stuff.
What about behind you?
Yeah, a little baseball they have there too, old school. Not least or anything, just basic brown road.
Fish.
Here we are in the final room of the tour. Everybody's favorite, because food. It's of course the kitchen. In front of you is the original wood stove that Mary would cook on every single day, both for her family and for guests. That's where all of that cooking would happen. Her hired staff would help, and they did have also a summer kitchen outside the cooking during the hot months of the year to keep the heat outside of the home. But that is the main stove. It's a very, very nice appliance, and it's something that Abraham never would have seen as a child. We were talking about his childhood just a few moments ago. It was a single room log cabin. It's actually about the same size as this room. So imagine that life, living here with your entire family in this little room, a dirt floor, rough wood walls, and no air conditioning. That's the life Abraham knew as a child. So it's very impressive of him to go from that, even to here, and build up a very successful career, changing the lives of hundreds of people. But this is Abraham Lincoln we're talking about. He would take himself and his family, and all the experience he had built up, all the way to Washington, D.C. He would use every single ounce of that experience and knowledge to successfully lead the nation through its most difficult and troubled time. That's all I have for you today. I have been Ranger Matt on behalf of the National Park Service. Thank you all very much for coming out here on your tour this afternoon.
Don't hang on that yet.